welcome to Wild Boy Movies, the place to talk movies. And today, we're going to be reviewing the Super Mario Galaxy movie, the sequel to the highest grossing video game movie. Right now, I'm going to have some information up on screen for you to read, like director, runtime, and PAA rating. All of that will be up on screen for you to read right now. But be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below your thoughts on the Super Mario Galaxy movie. But without further ado, let's get right into the pros. Alright, starting off, I want to go ahead and talk about the voice actors in this movie because a lot of them did a pretty good job in this movie. You of course got the returning voice actors in here, Chris Pratt, Charlie Day, Jack Black, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Keegan-Michael Key. All of them do a pretty good job in their roles, but also these new voice actors that they added onto this movie also did a pretty good job. You got Donald Glover as Yoshi, who I thought did a pretty good job in the role of Yoshi, and I really think that they should have gone around of just hiding the voice actor of Yoshi and only us finding out who voiced Yoshi at the end credits, because you would have told me that the Yoshi that we got in this movie was voiced by Donald Glover and we hadn't known that fact, I would have been like, no way that was him, because he was unrecognizable in that role. You also got Benny Safdie, who voiced Bowser Jr. in this movie, and I thought he did a pretty good job in the role of Bowser Jr. And yeah, really the two ones that I really want to talk about that were big standouts of the movie were one, Glenn Powell as Fox McCloud. Now, that is not a spoiler. They revealed that he's in the movie a whole week before the movie came out. We even got a character poster for him. But I thought Glenn Powell did a great job as Fox McCloud and was a huge standout of the entire movie. One of the best new characters that we got in the Mario Galaxy movie. But honestly, I think the best one in terms of the new voice actors has to be Brie Larson as Rosalina. I thought she did a really great job with portraying the character of Rosalina, and I think that this version of Rosalina just might be the best version that we got of the entire Mario franchise. Now, that might be a bias because I really like movies more than like the video games, but I still really think that Brie Larson did a great job in terms of the voice acting for Rosalina. I also liked how they fixed a major complaint that I had with the first Mario movie, and how here we got a lot of Mario and Luigi doing a bunch of missions together. Like, that was something that I kind of really did not like about that first Mario movie, is that we had Mario and Luigi separated for almost the entire movie. Here, they're together going on a bunch of missions together, and I really like seeing that because they are the Mario Bros, and I really like the dynamic that Chris Pratt's Mario and Charlie Day's Luigi had together from what we saw done together in the first movie. I like seeing that continue on in the second movie. And speaking of character relations, I like what they were doing with the characters of Mario and Peach and how their relationship continues to evolve from when we first saw them in the first movie, from when they met to where they are now in the second movie. Like, I just really like all of these character relations that we got in the movie, and even the little beef that Toad and Yoshi had in the movie, like, I thought that was pretty funny. The animation here was also really good. Now, I really like the animation that we got from the first Mario movie, and I also really like the animation in the second Mario movie. Like, there are just some visually pleasing moments in this movie that just look very good, especially on the big screen. Like, there are a lot of planets that we get to see, and a lot of them look very good, like, on screen. Like, especially this shot that we got from the final trailer of Mario riding on Yoshi with Luigi and Peach beside him. I just really like that shot and the visuals up there, but also the action sequences as well also were very good, and I think might just be a bit better than the action sequences that we got from the first Mario movie. That's kind of by like a tiny little margin. Like, there are just so many cool looking action sequences in this movie, whether it be Peach in like that casino area or even that final battle, which they have completely hid that final battle from the trailers, and we only got like a smidgen of that final battle in the promotional material, whether it be trailers or TV spots. They hid a lot of that big final battle from the trailers, and I was surprised to see some of the things that happened in that final battle. I'm not gonna say what they are here because, well, this is a spoiler-free review, but I just really liked seeing some of those surprises and turns for the Mario Galaxy movie, and some of the reveals that we got also were pretty good. But look, I found this movie to be very fun and entertaining, just like the first movie, and I had a lot of fun watching it, and I thought it was a pretty great watch. But however, there are things holding this movie back from being better than that first movie, so let's go ahead and get right into the cons. Alright, so while I made a point in my review for the first Mario movie that some people might feel like that movie might just be like an hour long when in reality it's an hour 32 minutes, here I definitely felt like that the pacing was a bit more slower than that first movie, to where I felt like that it was a bit longer than usual. Not saying it's like absurdly long like how I felt with that Iron Lung movie, but I felt like that it probably would have been like a runtime between like an hour 40 to hour 50 rather than its actual runtime of an hour 38 minutes. And I think a lot of that might just be towards that dinosaur scene that we got to see in the trailers, where we got to see Baby Mario and Baby Luigi. I just felt like that scene in particular really padded the runtime for the movie, and felt like that it was kind of unnecessary in the movie. All it really did was just throw in an Odyssey Easter egg. I will also say this movie does suffer from like the same problem that something like Multiverse of Madness got, where that Doctor Strange movie was titled Multiverse of Madness, and we were expecting a whole bunch of multiverses, but we just got a montage of that. Here, I think that same thing can be applied here with Mario Galaxy, where we kind of really don't get that much galaxy in a Mario Galaxy movie. We just spend time like on these different planets and not like in this space-like setting that you would expect from something like Mario Galaxy. Like, I felt like it was just in name Mario Galaxy, but rather something else, where I think that this movie should have been called Super Mario World, which I believe was the rumored title for this movie for the longest time before we found out it was Mario Galaxy, where, yeah, I felt like that the whole stuff involving Yoshi, I think that should have been like the main subplot of this movie, and again, should have been called Mario World, and maybe save Mario Galaxy for a third Mario movie, which I'm thinking is most likely going to be happening. But I just felt like, again, this movie was just Mario Galaxy in name rather than like story. But we do still get some Galaxy elements in this movie though. But the biggest con that I can give the Super Mario Galaxy movie was something that I was starting to feel once I saw that final trailer, was the amount of Rosalina in this movie. Because if you see my video talking about that final trailer, you know that I went ahead and talked about my fear of there might not be that much Rosalina in the Mario Galaxy movie, and unfortunately that ended up being the case, where we got some moments of Rosalina in the movie, but a lot of the time she's just gone, absent throughout the movie, where I just really wanted to see her interact with all these Mario characters like Mario, Luigi, and Peach, and we barely got any of that in this movie. And I'm being serious when I say this, they basically gave Rosalina the William Afton treatment. What I mean is that we got very little William Afton in the first two Five Nights at Freddy's movies, and I really like that character William Afton in those FNAF movies, and I'm very excited to see where they go with him in that third FNAF movie. The same things that I could say about Matthew Lillard's William Afton can be said here about Brie Larson's Rosalina, where I really like the character and the stuff that she got to do in the movies, particularly that opening sequence, but unfortunately they really didn't give her that much screen time, and I just felt like that the same thing I mentioned about William Afton can be said about Rosalina here for this movie, and I'm hoping that if we get that third movie, we get a lot more Rosalina in the movie, because I felt like that there were large chunks in the movie where I felt like that she was very absent in the movie. But even though I had those cons in the movie, I still really ended up enjoying the movie, and I think right now is my favorite movie of 2026, and I just found it to be very fun and entertaining. Now, where I would rank it in the video game movies, I don't think that would be somewhere like that first Mario movie or even the Minecraft movie. I would put Mario Galaxy somewhere in like the same tier that I would put the Five Nights at Freddy's movies, where I really enjoyed those movies, but I would understand why some people wouldn't be that big of a fan of those movies. But I still ended up finding this movie to be very good and very enjoyable. So for my scorecard, I'm gonna give the Super Mario Galaxy movie 5 stars, with the score out of 10 being 10 out of 10, with the percentage being 100%, with a grade of A+, with my final verdict being a very fun and enjoyable sequel. But that was my review of the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I want to hear from you guys. What are you guys' thoughts on this movie? Go ahead and leave me your thoughts down in the comment section. And while you're at it, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to stay tuned on my channel for my ending and post-credit scenes breakdown. But until then, have a great day.